Today we're working on this 20 whatever it is. I don't even know what year this thing is. 2020, 2019, 2043. This 2043 Dodge, yeah, Dodge Grand Caravan. Caravan of the Grands. I always have to look because I've owned 100 of these things. And they're either a Grand Caravan or a Chrysler Town and Country. Same thing. Just different badges. Different pieces of plastic and trim. This one here is the Dodge Grand Caravan. I recently purchased this for my wife unit and replaced her something else that she had. I don't know. I lose track. I'm kind of one of those people that my wife's just gotten used to, that I come home and I'm like, I need your keys because I sold your car and you're driving this now. Happens a lot. Yeah. So we're gonna work on this thing. It's been needing some work. I've been out of town. I've been doing other things and taking care of building the Jeep and the house and fixing the pool and running plumbing and building the office and painting all this stuff and just walls and wires and stuff. So she went to work today, took the kids' car, left me with this so that I can work on this one. This. I have a long list. No, I don't have a long list. I have a list. Oil change. I mean, basic stuff. Oil change. I'm probably going to drop the trans pan, throw in a new filter in it, and just, you know, top off the juice, change the oil filter, obviously, because we're doing an oil change. I mean, who leaves the old filter? Do you? Stop it. Don't do that anymore. So we're going to do that. And then I think there's some other things. Oh, air conditioning's not quite working. It's, 400 million and 25,000 degrees out here. So when she's at the idles, it doesn't maintain the ice coming out of the vents. There's also the sprayers. I think my wife literally put it on our little list, our shared list of what's wrong with your car. We use the notepad on the iPhone and just share. And I think it just says squirts. I had to get clarification on that because I didn't know if I needed to go get her some medicine or if it was the car. I assumed it was the car because it was under the title of the van, but I just didn't know if every time she got in the van it was like, ah. So I did get clarification. It is the windshield sprayers, not the squirts. Entirely different thing. I mean, one requires a change of diet and the other one requires a change of a hose. But they both are affected by a hose, I guess. I don't know, of some sort. Passage of something. First step is to remove that. Why? Just because I don't like seeing them there. There's really no, honestly, good. I mean, you can get to the fill on these. You can get to a lot of the stuff without having to mess with it. And we're going to play around with this. So come along if you want, or don't. You can just subscribe and like and then leave. It's up to you. It's your choice. But we're going to play with this. Simple, boring stuff. So let me get this thrown up on the lift. Check out underneath what we need to do. I might need to go get some of that really bad Freon that parts stores sell that have the stop leak in it that is terrible for these systems. I'm not going to get that. They do sell other cans that have none of the junk in it, just all straight icicle juice. And we're gonna pick up. I may need to pick up a can or two of that. I don't know if I've got any left in my big jug, and just squirt some in here and make it work. So we'll show you guys all that stuff. Maybe we'll just end the video right here and come back and say, "Bop, it's done! Yay!" We'll see. So let me get some stuff together and kind of get my bearings, and we'll bring you along with what we're doing. Again, simple stuff, but you can learn too. All right, learn. Dang it, learn. I do see these transmissions are interesting. And I always kind of forget which years do what and all that stuff. 2020, this one is. It's got like two pans on a transmission. Isn't that interesting? Do you find that no? I do. So it tells me we should have a filter tray in here. One of the things I want to inspect on is the brakes. We can do it with the tires on. I think we'll do it with the tires off. We can look, or the wheels, whatever. But we can look. But I think while I'm in here, I'm going to rotate the tires. And yes, the tires rotate themselves as they go down the road. But that's not the kind of rotation that we need. We need to move the fronts to the back, and the tires don't do that when they go down the road. What they do is they just rotate this way. Round and around they go. Well, they can create some cupping, they can create some funny tire wear, especially as you get higher mileage. You know, control arms and all that stuff probably don't need to be replaced yet, but you can still get funny tire wear. So even just from turning, I can feel a little ridge on the edge here, so we're gonna swap on them so we can kind of even out the tire wear, because I just don't see a reason to start changing components yet. And I will tell you, these Grand Caravans and Chrysler Town & Countries, for that matter, I've been really happy. I don't know why. Some people rag on them, but I mean, these things, I just really have never had a lot of issues. You got some of the common like intake stuff and all those things, but I just have I've never had a lot of issues, other than I can't stand up under my own lift. Unless I find a cool pocket like this with storage and stuff. So we're gonna inspect the eyes on this thing and see what's going on and what we can figure out. What else I need to do? But in the time being, we're gonna drop the oil and let it just kind of drain out, and we'll do our inspection. Sound like a plan? Okay. Let's grab the oil bucket. If you don't have a lift, you can still do this. Go to Hobo Freight or your favorite Facebook marketplace and buy yourself a floor jack and a couple jack stands, at least one. But try to get a couple and jack the thing up. Not advisable to jack it up from the oil pan. Nope. Come along here on the side. This is called a pinch seam. It's where these all pinch together. A lot of these will actually have markings on the inside of this pinch seam where they want you to lift it from. They're lifting points. Put your floor jack under that. Pick up the vehicle off the ground. And then slam a jack stand underneath something solid, like where I'm on. I mean, you go on a mount, go on a solid piece, feel around. Like, not a bad spot to go. Bad spot to go. Right? Knock around. You know, don't put a jack stand underneath the tire. Rotational forces. Bad spot to put it. Sometimes under a control arm's the only place you can get. If you got to do that, that's okay. Just slowly let it down, because that control arm's gonna move. You want to try to get on parts that don't move, if you can. If you go on a pinch seam, go on a pinch seam. Find solid points, please, so we're not punching holes through floors of cars or oil pans because you try to do it yourself on your grandma's car in the backyard in the mud and everything was sinking. And before you knew it, the car was lower than where you started. Just solid ground, you know. Jesus even said that in the Bible. Don't do this in the sand. Build your house on solid ground. Well, I'll change the same way. I gotta get another tool. I don't even know why I'm still talking. I gotta need a bigger wrench. Oh, hi. You're still here, staring at me again. Now, always remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? So if you have to, get in here and go, oh, I would tighten a bolt like this, and I would loosen a bolt like this. Sometimes that's just how you have to do it to remind yourself so you don't over-tighten stuff. And we're just going to loosen that bolt. Drag this guy around. Get this out of the way. Let's see how much oil we can or cannot get on our finger. I do have a bigger tray for this. I just don't like to use it because it gets in the way. The oil's going to shoot out. So if you're using a bucket, come away from it. If you notice right here, the edge, like we're not too like far. I mean, you can honestly start all the way over here if you wanted to. It's going to shoot out. But tendency is people want to put it here, and then they pull the drain plug and all of the oil shoots out to here, and then they're trying to catch it and put it back in, and it's spilling everywhere. That doesn't work. Start further away. We're underneath if in case it just drips, and you don't want to get it all over your hands. Nothing. Now, if you're using just a standard little bucket or a Tupperware container to catch oil, which please catch your oil, okay? We don't need it all making tar pits and stuff out there in your backyard for the aminals to get stuck in and the ducks to get their feathers. It doesn't. If you're using a bucket, don't drop it like that. You're probably going to get some Earl on your fingers, because if you don't get a little Earl on your fingers when you're pulling the drain plug and you're using just a bucket, you're going to get a lot of Earl on your fingers when you go fishing for it at the bottom of the bucket. Under 6 quarts of oil. You don't want that. So while that's draining, we're going to come and check all the rest of this stuff out. We're going to kind of just do just an overall inspection. Just look at it. How do bushings look? Grab your tire. Do a little wiggle, 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 wiggle. That way. Do a wiggle, 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 wiggle. Do you feel any play? Is there any noise? Is there any clunking? Is there anything that just doesn't feel quite right? At this point, we can look at the brakes. They actually kind of look pretty low. You can probably get a flashlight, you'll be able to see better, but you know, I got my eye sockets on it, and I can see in there that the brakes are probably looking a little bit low. We might replace on those real quick while we're in here. Maybe make a whole nother, I don't know, video. Look up here, does anything look torn? Does it look broken? Careful the exhaust now. If you just pulled it in and came off the highway from a 400-mile drive, it's probably a little warm. You don't want to be cooking your hot dogs on there, you know? Wiggle it. Does it feel loose? Is your expansion, looking good? Is it falling apart? Put your peepers up on the back of the engine. I mean, you can look up there. Do you see any oil leaks? Anything major? Worn wires? Stuff missing? You know, little kittens that are hanging out? Raccoons making a nest? See any snakes popping out at you? Maybe a dolphin? I don't see any of that in there. So we're gonna call that good. Now watch your head, because all this stuff, man, this will freaking, whoo, that'll hurt. That'll put the hurt on you real quick. It has its purpose, and I think its purpose is to slice your arms when you're working on cars. But we're gonna look at everything, man. Check out the lines. I mean, this car is actually very clean. I don't know if I've ever been under this one yet. I kind of just drove it and said, yep, I'll take it. And then handed it to my wife and said, let me know what you find out. My wife grew up with a dad that built hot rods. She understands cars. So then just dump it on her. Don't act like I'm some evil person. Stop. She understands. She can hear the noises, and then she tells me, and then I forget about it for another like 3 months. And then she tells me again, and then I go, oh yeah, I'll get, and I forget about it again. And then she writes me a list, and I go out of town. And then I eventually get it done because Drew says, nope, this is a priority. So we're doing it. I wanted to weld on the other thing more. Or sit in my office in the air conditioning and just pick my nose. We're doing this. And now my fingers are dirty and picking. It just, yeah. So check out your suspension components, you know. Do we hear any weird noises? I mean, anything abnormal? Do we have bearing play? You know, knock the thing off the lift because you wiggled it so hard. You know, all those stuff. Look at your shocks. Do you see any moisture coming down the shocks? Any wet stuff? Or do they look dry? I know we're in Arizona, but moisture will still stick, especially when it's oil. They look good. Everything looks happy. So we're gonna mosey on back up to the front of it and put that drain plug back in. Do a limbo underneath this thing. And we'll grab the drain plug. We'll clean the area off. It's still gonna leak a little bit. I mean, if you want to, you can let it sit there and drain for a long time. Go hang on the tailgate of the thing so it tilts it. Whatever you want to do. I got enough oil out of it. It's fine. Just, you know. Now, Here's what you want to do is you want to take your wrench, you want to stand back as far as you can and pull as extremely hard as you can. I mean, like, this thing needs to be tighter. Well, I can't say that. It needs to be tight. It doesn't need to be tight. Please, for the love of God, stop over tightening these things. There's a gasket. It doesn't need to be done. I mean, it's like literally like, now you don't want it loose where it's going to rattle off either, but like, you know, there's an initial tension, right? I'm not putting a lot of weight on that thing, and it just, the bolt stopped. So now I'm just going to give it a little, and it's done, right? Just a little, and it's done. You see that? You don't need to pull this thing all the way up to the frame. The bolt doesn't need to be pushed through the front of the pan. You're gonna hurt stuff. And then clean up your mess. Like your mama always told you. Clean it up. Settle down. Jeez. Now normally I would put these on the lift. But I'm not putting, it's 20 million degrees out. So you gotta put stuff in the shade when you can, you know? All right. Tires off. And attacking me? We'll inspect the brakes. You can snag a little look in here. You have a backing plate. You can see how thick your pads are. Check your rotor. Does it have a big ridge? Is there pitting? Is there hot spots like right there, which will show some warping? You know, you can see it. Or if you were smart, you'd get up in there and turn the wheel without starting the engine. There's no Earl in it. Okay, the dinosaurs have not been replaced. So check both sides. Don't be lazy. Like this gun really needs to fix this, man. It's just a switch. What I should do is just take the switch out and wire this thing so it's always on full blast. Who needs less than full blast? I mean, honestly, who doesn't just pull the trigger and send it? I don't need a little. I don't need that. I need this thing to drive it home. If I needed a little, I'd use a little gun. But I'm not. It's like, okay. Again, inspect this side. Insecticides. Inspect this side. Look at it. It looks good. There's a lot of pad in there. The boots aren't torn. The caliper looks great. Welcome to Arizona, guys. I mean, the land of the free. You know? Something like that. I don't know. We just don't get a lot of bad stuff like that. Now, we are getting a little bit of moisture up here. It's not terrible yet, but that could be the little bit of a clunk in the front. There's a strut going bad. Lift up the boot. We'll feel up here. It's not soaking wet. We're good. We're gonna just pretend like we didn't see any of that moisture at all. It's just a little bit of, that's it. It's not a huge thing. We're not concerned with it. Some guys like to crisscross their tires when they rotate them. I don't. We can see a little bit of an outer wear pattern on this. But overall, I don't think these tires have been rotated in a long time. Turn around every night. Nope, wrong kind of rotate. Okay. So, yeah. Look at them, see if you see any nails, anything you got to fix while you got the tire off. Simple stuff, guys. All simple stuff. We're going to put this right here in case the lift fails. Then it can just really knock the car off and cause problems because, you know, safety last. And we'll come over here. We'll pull the rears. All right. Tread looks much more better on this. There's an age-old argument about whether the good tread should be on the back or the front. Usually you have that argument with guys like, you know, Discount Tire or whoever your local tire guy is. They try to tell me that we should have the better meat on the back. I strongly disagree with that. What do you guys think? Put it down below. Should you have the better tread on the front or the better tread on the back. We know that those tires are getting a little bit worn down, still got plenty of life, not scary. But where would you prefer it? In my mind, the better, newer tires should go on the front. That's your steering axle. That's what can cause rollovers. That's what can cause all sorts of problems. Blowing the back tire, it's going straight no matter what. You might get a little sideways or get a little, you know, wiggle wobble. You know, your van might do a little twerking or something. But on the front, yowzas, that's not fun. So I prefer the better meat on the front. But what do you think? I don't know. Seems like everybody's got a different opinion on that. I'm not trying to rag on anybody, man, and I love people trying. But if you don't know, ask questions. Please. I've seen some scary stuff out there. People trying to do their own stuff, man, and it's well, scary. Like I said, scary stuff is scary. Yep. Make sure it's all the way on there. There is a little bit of a hubba. And make sure it's all the way on there. Yes, you can put these on the gun and you can just slam them home. Not my way of doing things, guys. Again, that's a quick road to a cross thread. And nobody likes a cross threader. Oh, is a cross threader like a male bolt that wears a skirt? You can clearly see your nuts. Lug nuts. Come on, guys. Get your mind out of the gutter. Jeez. Yeah. Inspecting, rotating, looking. Perfect. Okay. Yep. Inspecting, rotating, looking. Perfect. Calling my chiropractor. Perfect. Speed dial for the chiropractor. So you want to be a mechanic, huh? Oh boy, here we go. Watch the guy struggle putting a tire on, the simplest thing on the planet. Should I do my Mr. Rogers? Have you ever struggled putting a tire on? It's okay. Just calm down. Line up the lug nuts and just put it on. Just put it on. So I imagine Mr. Rogers would do a tire change. I don't know why I'm imagining Mr. Rogers doing a tire change. Wasn't he a Navy SEAL? I know he was like, I thought he was like some like freaking like beast mode, like bad dude. Not like in a bad way, but like a kicking some serious arse kind of guy. Could have sworn. We'll have to look that up. What was his name? Fred Durst? He's still going the wrong way, guys. Maybe if I don't look, then we can get it, you know? Dude, we're accomplishing things today. Did you realize that? We're like 1/10 of the way done with what we need to get done here. I mean, we only have like 70 more things to do on this car. We haven't gotten parts yet. The sun is bright above me, shining down. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. And like I said last time, the monkey ate my mango. But we're here with no mango, but a twinkled star. You guys don't know where the twinkle star comes from. You're one of those people that's like not watching my entire video. Just saying. Because I watch my videos. And every time I watch my videos, Drew has me singing a song at the end of it. No, I don't sing. But he puts a song in my head. I just about hate him for it every time. And love him just as much. And it's always wise to leave one lug nut loose, you know, just in case the other ones want to come loose and the wheel wants to fly off and you don't feel like living. That's a bad idea. You should always live. There's way too much to live for. You're loved. Except for when you get some. I know. Who needs a gym? Who needs a gym when you got a Drew? Or a... That's a different kind of gym. GYM? Gymnasiums? Some guys want to put anti-sneeze on these. Depends on if your car's got allergies. You know, if your car has allergies, put some anti-sneeze on these things. We're in Arizona, we don't have allergies. Liar! But not the kind of allergies you guys have, which is called rust. If you live in those areas where there's a lot of snow and salt and all that kind of stuff, you know, the metal's allergic to the moisture, and it does, you know, moisture things. I'd recommend putting some anti-sneeze on these. You just don't need to worry about. Why can't these things be quieter? We don't need to worry about that out here. So that's why you're not seeing me put anti-sneeze on these. Like Dr. Seuss, put anti-sneeze on these. You know, it's gonna get on your knees because that anti-sneeze gets everywhere. All right. We're gonna lower this thing down. We're gonna check out the squirts now. Good enough for government work. We know that for a fact. Well, here's one issue. We got a loose hose clamp. The old hoser's loose there, bud. Look at that, the old hoser's loose. Oh, what are we gonna do about that there now, bud? So let's get in here there and pop the lid on this guy. Check an air filter. Grab this old hoser off of here and hopefully it doesn't break like they always do. Cool. We survived that one. It's gonna let me off this side. Nope, we're gonna leave that one alone because that wants to break. And somebody was kind enough to leave that loose for us, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the air filtre out. Something got in here. That's an interesting conundrum. But that thing actually looks pretty clean. Fixed. Because I do think I want to swap on the serpentine belt while I'm in here. I mean, look at this. There's no oil in the intake. This thing is just immaculate. Just clean as the day is long. I'm gonna take this guy off to remind me that I need to put Earls in it. I'll take this out to remind me I need to put Earls in it. You know, if you put both these back in and you haven't been reminded to put Earls in it, you got problems. Problems I can't solve. Oh, I found the squirt problem. Did you guys see it way before me? Did you honestly? Man, you are so smart. Observant. I don't think that's gonna allow that to squirt when we got the break-ins. Well, that's a simple fix now, isn't it? We can work with that, guys. We can make stuff happen there. Let's that's easy. We just gotta go find a hoser. And what we can do is get a piece of like vacuum hose and no, we'll just leave that alone for now. We can get a piece of little vacuum hose that fits right over the two ends of this hard plastic hose, because what engineers, again, we live in an environment where plastic likes to just break and go bye-bye, and you've given me more plastic, which I greatly appreciate, because you know, why not? And this stuff breaks. This gets extremely brittle. This crappy plastic stuff gets really brittle. So we're gonna find a little hoser to put on that. our oil filtre thing. Well, it's hot. I told you guys it was hot. As a matter of fact, come over here real quick. Let's have a conversation. I just want to get in the shade. And so did the camera, apparently. The other camera shut down. It said, nope, I'm done. And I said, good. Bye. It shut down because it's hot. That's how hot it is. It's doing nothing but just looking at me. And like making ones and zeros and things go to places with a lens camera. I don't even know how it works. But in my opinion, it's not doing anything. And it got hot. Doing nothing. So, it shut down. So here we are. I pulled the air box out. Where, you know, the box we pulled the air filter out of. This guy. And we can see that there's a bunch of stuff in there. The air filter is working. On overtime. So, we're just gonna dump that out. Clean it. Don't put it back dirty, guys. But I took that out so I can get some access down here because I do want to change out the serpentine belt. This little serpentine down here, my little clementine, we're going to have to change out. And the tensioner's all the way back there. But I think we can get to it. If not, we'll just, you know, bring it back up in the air and get it from the bottom. And then we got to get this guy off. This is my oil filter housing. It's going to be a cartridge style. So we'll pull that guy out and that's about it. And then I gotta go get parts. One of the things I wanted to look at before I go and start doing a bunch of stuff on this thing and pulling that trans pan and making a mess. Is this a sealed transmission? Meaning, is there a dipstick or no? Because I don't see one. Unless I'm entirely blind. I know in some years they started getting rid of dipsticks. And you refill a transmission through a port on the top, and then you wait till it spills out the side, but you got to have it in neutralysis and running and all these different things, and you can mess it up. They say the transmission fluid is good for the life of the transmission. Well, that's a very obscure statement when I hear that from an automotive manufacturer, because what's your lifespan? What's mine? What's the lifespan of a cat? There's an average. But it could be tomorrow. I could drive this thing off the lot brand new and the transmission blows up and they're like, well, the fluid was good for its lifetime. You're right. It's great until the thing fails. I just hate statements like that. And this hasn't been changed on. Nothing's been done to this as far as the maintenance on it. And I am one that believes that you get to a certain point that you just don't touch it and you just leave it alone, because you can actually dislodge things that are perfectly happy lodged into a corner, and you can dislodge that by messing with it after a period of time, and those things can get into areas that the car's not happy to have in that spot. Transmission fluid change? Check. All right. I know what parts I need. We're gonna go get them and come back and we'll put it all together, because I have none of those parts. I have the serpentine belt here, but we might as well go get everything and do this all at once while I take this Nicaragua shirt and get this salty water off of me. This is forking hot. God. And we're back. Oh, Smileys. Yeah, we went to Smileys because that's where I have an account. Oil filter, housing, pink, right there. Bright orange, they made it perfect for you. 6-point socket's the best way to do it. 15/16 is what it wants, because that's what fits. I get a little extension so I don't rake my knuckles on the intake right here, because if I didn't have the extension, I'd be at a weird angle and I'd be raking my knuckles, and well, that's just not fun. It's just not fun at all. I can't wait to put oil in this thing, because you guys are gonna yell at me. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really cool, because you're gonna say I'm an idiot for what I'm doing, which is probably accurate. But But you'll find out why. Look at that. That's a cartridge if I have ever seen one. The benefit of letting that kind of go is it, you know, leaks out. But these just pop off. They should just pop off. Ah. They get oils all over your hand. You know, grab yourself a nice little towel. Microfiber to the rescue. And just clean it off, you know? Do the stuff, man. Get it clean. No reason not to. Make sure all the old components came out with the old filter. You know, there's a little O-ring down in there, and there's all sorts of stuff. Just make sure it's all in one piece. If it came out in multiple pieces, don't try and go cramming the new one in there. I picked up a Wix XP. I don't know what it stands for or why, but it costs more money, so it's got to be at least 42% better. No, you know, before I put that in there. There it is. We also need to replace a hula hoop. These O-rings, it's probably fine. But you know what? When you get it off there, you can see it's got a little bit flattened. They gave it to you. Would you just replace it? Being so dang lazy. You know? It's just a rubber band, man. For those of you that have a man bun, it's like a hair tie. Sticks out more. It's happier. Then you just take this guy and just cram it down in there, you know? Not too much. Don't break it. Don't squish it. Don't make it terrible. And we'll just check down here. We'll kind of clean the area a little bit. You know, this is how you keep from buildup happening. You keep your areas clean. What I don't have is some Earl. I normally got a gallon or two in my pockets. Oh, hey, oil. See? Oil. Who needs a gym when you got oil? You guys figure out what you're going to yell at me about yet? Gonna yell at me about something. Look at that. Dello. 1540. Diesel oil. For the 3.6 liter diesel V6 in this minivan. It's not a diesel. Why am I putting Dello in this thing, you ask? Well, that is a dang good question, and I probably should have reserved that for the comments section because, well, sure I would have gotten asked, but I'm going to answer it anyways because I have it on the shelf and it's free. No, the reality is this vehicle has high miles, and it's hotter than Satan's armpit out here, and I want to. Those are the three reasons why Dello. I like the heavier viscosity. I like that this has all the vitamins and dinosaurs still in it. I mean, there's a T-Rex in there. I could see it. I just like that it has all the stuff. And I find it in higher mileage, which this is. It just helps. You know, you get the zinc and ginkgo biloba and vitamin B12 and other things like that. It helps. It kind of makes up all those gaps and stuff inside the worn out components. And when it's hot, and I mean hot out, this oil never really gets a chance like to really just kind of relax. So I'm gonna go a little thicker to make up those spaces. And I'm not getting a tick, I'm not getting a knock. If you did, go to Dello. And why do I do Dello instead of Rotella? Because I live out here in Arizona. We have additives in our fuel that can react with that Rotella that makes things really not happy, and it creates build up on the valves and stuff. That doesn't work out here. Dello does not have those additives. Maybe on your side of the world it does. And also I bought a crap ton of that stuff for like nothing. They were giving it away because nobody was buying it. I said, I'll take all you got. What are your 10 closest stores? Bring everything they have. I filled a shelf full of it. So that giant jug was like $4. Yeah, I'll take it all. You got any more? You got any in Arkansas that you're getting rid of? I'll take it. Okay. Filter housing. Man, you guys don't need a rafe on this thing. Just, you know, just get it nice and snug. If it was a regular filter, we'd just be doing hand tight. With this, we'll put a wrench on it and we'll sock it and we'll just kind of click. Just not a lot, okay? Keep it happy. We're gonna fill up the wiper juice. See that one that's got the little squirters on there? The little caterpillar antennas? Yep. That's where it goes. Looks like a bug. Put bug. Just, you know, pour it in there. Let it drink it up. We got more. Don't put in the one that looks like the battery that's on fire or in the ocean. That's your current. This is your bug juice. Now, remember this broken hoser over here? This little hoser that we're having a little bit of an issue with. I really want to get that apart so I can fix it. I'll show you guys a simple fix. I see these a lot where like there's just the stuff is just hanging out and people don't fix them. And I don't know why. Oh, come on, really? You know, one of these days I'm gonna slice my hand wide open on this camera because I'm using a freaking sharpened knife. Guys should use a dull knife. Okay. Go get yourself a piece of rubber hose, which is what I wish they ran on this thing the whole time, and they're rubber connectors, all that stuff. Now be careful when you're flexing on all this stuff. We're connected here. If your clip is gone, be careful because you can easily break these little spray tips. I mean, I'm talking easy. It's all plastic crap. But we're gonna get a piece of just regular old vacuum hose, hoser, and we're just gonna cut a little piece of it and make a sleeve. This stuff is not under high pressure, guys. So if your squirters aren't working because your hose broke, don't look at it and go, ah, my life is over. No, just get a piece of hose. It'll fit. Find one that fits right over that. It's gonna be a bit of a stretch. That's what's gonna hold it. Now, Drew asked me if I needed a tiny hose clamp. He was being silly. He wasn't being serious, guys. I found it hilarious. And I said, no! All I need is a little bit of love, some patience, and to just cram this down on there. And what's the worst that's gonna happen? It's gonna come apart? It was already broken. So what are you worried about? We'll give it a little bit of extra. The cool thing about this too is you can rotate it so things sit where you want them. I mean, it's really just kind of nice. And we'll just snap this right back into place. Got a little clip right here. Let's just snap it right back. Just right back in place. Like that one, you know? And like that. This one just is not, it's just not wanting to. There we go. And we should be fixed. You're welcome. I have a feeling I just saved you guys a lot of headaches. I don't know why people don't show you that. Those things break all the time. I mean all the time. All right. Now we got to fill it. Fun thing with these big jugs is these are 2.5 gallons in every one of these jugs. And this doesn't take 2.5 gallons. The diesel does. It takes more than that. This, it doesn't. So you got to pour this big old jug. And here's where I spill this everywhere. Maybe not, we'll see. If I don't spill this, I'll tell you the trick. If I spill it, I'm not telling you my trick. Yep, a little bit more. Okay, a lot more. We'll just keep going. We're gonna put about half this jug in here. 4 quarts to a gallon. This jug is 2.5 gallons, which means it's how many quarts, people? Did you pay attention to math? We don't need Common Core. We can use the old school a squared plus b squared equals c squared to get an answer of 10 quarts in this jug. And if I need 5 quarts in the engine, then we'll put about half the jug. Because last I checked, I'm gonna put a little bit more than half the jug though, because I know this is actually, I think, almost a 6-quart system. Oh, would you look at that? Can you even see that? So we put, this jug was a little bit low already. 2.5 gallons was already a little bit low. I knew right where it was. And look at that. I mean, you couldn't get better if you tried. I challenge you. I challenge you to a duel. Did that just streak the thing? It did. Shh. Okay, hold on. Be right back. Okay. Challenge you to a duel. Anyways. So we'll check the oil on that thing. And we're gonna put the wrong cap on. So if you noticed when I poured that, it didn't spill anywhere. Since it didn't spill anywhere, I will tell you the trick. Because every time I'm like, I'm gonna show you guys how to do this, and then I try to show you and I dump it everywhere. It's that pressure, you know, it's just scary. Oh, good word. How do I explain this? Let's pretend like we're combining these jugs, which I probably should do if I was in a smart world, but I'm not gonna do it right now. Lids are on, we're tight. This is the hole in your engine where you gotta pour your oil, right? Usually it's on top of the valve covers, somewhere like that, right? You can go and get a funnel and it goes down to the tiny thing and you gotta wait for it to go glug, 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 and it's annoying. You don't need to do that. When you go to pour your oil, everybody thinks, like when we pull the drain plug, the oil's gonna come shooting out. It's not. That's not how science works, okay? When it comes out of the hole, if you're going slow like you should, it's actually gonna pour behind the opening before it pours out. So the thought is everybody wants to start, if you look at that angle, everybody wants to start here, right? Because you're gonna pour the oil and it's gonna come out. See how far away I am? That's not the way you do it. If you're taking your time, bring this right over the top of the hole. Maybe even just like the edge of the spout, bring it almost to the edge of the hole you're pouring it into. You're gonna start there slowly. That oil will actually come out, it'll run down this a little bit and go in. So it's gonna actually go backwards. And so as you do that and you start, you go here and then you bring the jug back and now you're pouring out. Did that make sense? So don't start back here, okay? Because then it's gonna dump all over back here and then you're gonna try and catch it and then everybody starts doing this and it starts sloshing and guggling everywhere. You don't wanna do that. Nice and slow, right over the top of it, bring the edge of this to the edge of your hole. And then as it starts to pour, you just slowly bring it back and then you can control your pour. Same thing applies when you go to lift it. Notice we didn't pour the entire jug in and I lifted it without spilling a drop. If you notice, as I lifted forward. I didn't lift straight up because if I lift straight up, that oil is gonna go back here again. You lift and come forward and that's how you keep it all in there. A little trick I learned a long time ago, science. I'm like Bill Nye. Do you know who Bill Nye is? Do you? If you know who Bill Nye is, comment below. Say, I know! That's all you gotta say. That's it. Just, I know. Because I do. I know who he is. Okay. squirrels. There's squirrels everywhere. Dip, stick, pull her out. Look at that. We're gonna get a little bit in there. We're still not all the way glug down, but I mean, we're right where we need to be. If anything, we'll top it off with a little bit once we fire it up. Plenty of Earls in there to start it. All the dinosaurs are in there playing around, having fun, getting to know each other. The rag's in my back pocket that I'm looking for. I just, you know, I'm gonna clean some of the dirt and dust off, put this guy back on, and then we're pretty much done. I mean, we're pretty much done with this. Is there anything else I needed to do? Oh, the serpentine belt. Don't want to do that. I'm trying to avoid it. I hate doing it anymore. I mean, what does it even matter anymore? I mean, what's on my face? Is there something? Feels like there's like a feather hanging out of my nostril. Just. I think the serpentine belt's still right around my nostril or something. It's such a nice and easy place to get to. Did I get it? There was nothing there, was there? Looked like I got in a fight with a tiger. But I won. Okay, belt in. You know, it's really not a difficult belt. It's just not. I mean, around this, around that. If you see a grooved pulley that goes on the grooved side of the belt goes on there. If you see a smooth pulley, the smooth side of the belt goes on there. And really not difficult. The difficulty is always, for me especially, is in these sideways. I don't have skinny arms. I don't, and I'm not a fat guy. I just have big forearms. Well, maybe I'm a little fat, but I have big forearms. Okay, I've always had big forearms. I'm like Popeye over here. So if I don't eat spinach, because that stuff's bad for you. We got it. If you can't get a belt on, make sure it's on all the pulleys. And then a lot of times go on to the smallest pulley last, because it takes less belt to get to that. Usually I pull them off the alternator. This time I got to put it on the alternator and then just over the little idler pulley, and we were good. But I was only halfway on the AC compressor, and that belt sitting at a little bit of an angle makes up that little bit of gap you need just to be able to put it on, and it goes zzz, and everything works. I don't know. It's a replaceable part. It's gonna fail. Why do we have to be so difficult about this stuff? I just don't understand it. Okay, airbox going back in, guys. We're on a Holmes. Well, before I do that, time out. Wait. We got to do AC work. And where do these geniuses put our AC stuff? Well, there's one of our fittings. The other one's hidden in here somewhere. Let me find this. I don't remember where it is. And because they move them every year. And I'll show you guys how we're going to put some juice in this thing and check some stuff. And make it blow ice cubes out the dash so the wife is happy. We'll come right back to you when I find it. All right, we found it. They hit it in a very inconvenient spot. So our high side's over here, which is what all your pressure is. It's the hot side. It's where you can read your high pressure. The low side, well, that's back here. On an R134A system, your low side is going to be a smaller fitting. It's your suction side. It's where your lowest pressures are going to be. And your high side is going to be a larger fitting. Normally, I'd use a set of gauges, but it's always a but. We can't find our adapter. And I'm resorting to cans because my big tank is empty that I would normally just thread to and call it good. So we're gonna do cans. Now, one of the things that I like to look at when I get cans of Freon is that it doesn't have any thing in here that says it has extra juice and stuff in it. Do not use stop leak stuff. If it says it contains stop leak, don't use it. For the love of all that's holy, please don't use it. Okay? Please, 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 please don't use it. You will mess up your system. Okay? Got the can on here. We're gonna puncture the hole. We're gonna hook it up to the low side. We're gonna fire up the engine. I have no way of telling how much is in here. We're just gonna go by feel for right now. So we're gonna hook this up to the low side. Maybe. There we go. Connected. I'm gonna puncture this can by threading this guy all the way down. Ooh, we heard it go. So the hole has been punched. Okay. I'm gonna dangle this where it's gonna, you know, probably rub on everything and blow up when I start the car. And then we're gonna start it and turn the AC on full blast. The other thing I'm going to check, with the AC on, the fan should be on. The fan's on. So we can eliminate that as a problem. Plus we're not really getting an overheating issue or any of that stuff, so we should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and let Freon into the car. Now you can overcharge a system, and it will work exactly the same way as it did with it undercharged. So don't do that. This is entertaining, isn't it? We're hooked to the suction side. I'm feeling the hose. We're just going to open this all the way up and let it hopefully pull it in. That's all you gotta do is just run the suction side, guys. Bring it in. It'll pull the Freon in. Just be careful, watch your eye sockets. You know, this can comes popping off, you don't want it hurting you. This low side line should get cold. All the fittings should get cold as it's sucking the Freon in. And the can should get lighter. That's what happens when you pull the juice out of it. I'm gonna let it sit there and suck in this gas. And we'll bring you guys back and show you what it does. All right, so I just pulled it off the car. Don't unthread the can unless you know that the valve is shut. Just pop it off. The Schrader valve back there that'll keep the fluid from shooting out in your face. That's why you're on the low side. And then I felt the hose back there, the line, the metal line, it's nice and cold. Don't touch the high side. You know, the one that's got the big nozzle on it, that sucker gets hot. Really hot. The low side you can feel. Better way to do it. If you don't have a set of gauges, just feel the AC. Is it cold? She said it's not cold at idle. It's idling. And it's cold. So we're a little bit low. These systems hold a lot because it's a front and rear air system. So these do hold a lot more Freon. If it's any other vehicle that was just, you know, front air, I probably wouldn't have put a full can in. I would have hooked up gauges and I would do the whole thing. But right now, I'm just going by feeling. And if she's unhappy with it, I'll find my adapters and all this stuff. We've been working on the shop. Okay, we've been cleaning stuff up. I can't find half my stuff. But that should work. The other thing I want to check is the sprayers. Did we fix that? The squirters. Our squirter's squirting. Well, look at that. I mean, they're squirting. And they're going to be straight down because they're on the hood, settle down. So I'm going to shut this thing down. We'll double check the oil. We'll put the air filter back on, the air box, all that stuff goes right back into where it came off of. And then we're going to call it good, man. I got to go pick up some parts and a couple tools, and then we got church tonight. We got the high school group. We're gonna go and hang out with those guys. But thank you for coming along. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you and you learned a thing or two. And if not, tell me that so that I can know what I need to learn. Because I don't know unless you tell me. But wife's happy. Should be. We hope. Sprayers are working. AC's cold. Oil's changed. Transmission has been looked at. Brakes are good. Tires are rotated. Got an extra filter we don't need. The serpent belt's been changed. We got her. The only thing left to do is for you guys to subscribe and like this video. That's the only thing left to do. Did you do it? I did all this work. All you got to do is click, thumbs up. Whatever. I'm gonna shut it down and finish this because I gotta go. I got people to do and things to see. So thank you guys. I love you guys. Mwah. Mwah. Au revoir. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. It's a day of maintenance. Time to work on the old soccer mom wagon. Although none of my kids play soccer. Fair enough. It's right here somewhere. We'll find it. Prop. You look right here. It's not actually a hood. We've been informed that it's just simply a prop. Which means it's fake. So do I actually have to work on it if it's not real? And it's just a prop? Okay. Do I look pretty? No? Good. We're good. Well, are you recording? Mm-hmm. You're recording now? I wasn't ready. I didn't even do my makeup. Frick.